What's up, everybody? You are very welcome along to this week's Cop the Week. And as always, I'm joined by Mr. Steve Bland and Mr. Jack Gill. Gentlemen, you're both looking well. Although, Jack, you're kind of looking a bit like how I'm feeling, mate. You look like you're a little bit under the weather. And you can probably hear from my voice, I'm a bit nasally myself.
Yeah, there's colds and all sorts going around at the minute, isn't there? But obviously, I'd much rather be doing this video in a lot different circumstances as well. So, yeah, but we're going to have a good one.
Steve, how are you? It's been a while since we spoke again, and a lot has happened in the world of football over the space of a week. We've had pitch invasions by health officials. We've had, FIFA thrown in bans to Brazilian-based players, loads, mate, in an international break.
It's been a bit mad, hasn't it? Normally, international breaks are, just very little happens, and we just get through them. But there's plenty to talk about, isn't there? It's quite interesting. Yeah, sorry about the delay on getting the stream up. Actually, it was my fault entirely. I see. Blame Steve has popped up there. So yeah, apologies for that one.
Yeah, you're ruining the reputation of us. People just think it's usually me being a diva, but there's usually tech issues at the other side somewhere. And it can be something so simple. As you said, it can be just a pair of headphones sometimes, and it happens. Exactly. It happens to me. There's nothing worse than, I know you're a podcaster, Steve. I'm sure this has happened to you before, where you've either got on the dream guest or you've done a belter of a pod, mate. You've nailed it, and then you look down and you haven't recorded it.
Oh, wrong. You know what? It happened with a podcast that I did not too long ago with a Liverpool supporter, actually, Simon Rimmer, the chef, and it just didn't record. I've got no idea why. Yeah. Anyway, it's nothing you can do about it,
isn't it? Oh,
yeah, nothing you can do about it.
Absolutely. Do you know what you can do something about, though, ladies and gentlemen? You can do something about that male grooming. And I know that Jack's always very interested to know what the latest and greatest is from our friends over at manscaped.com. And Jack, as you know, they've got the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer out now. And not just that, the Performance Package 4.0. Get yourself the trimmer, the ear and nose hair weed whacker, which, by the way, is waterproof, Jack. I know you're very worried about your nasal hair when you're in the shower. It is waterproof, mate. So, when you're pissing in the shower, and let's be honest, we all piss in the shower, you can clean your little nose, you can clean your ears, mate. It's all good. It's waterproof, nothing to worry about. You also get 2 free gifts, Jack. Oh, not 1, 2. And that's not the ball toner and ball deodorant, Jack. No. That comes as standard, mate. You get the boxer briefs and you get the shed travel bag as well. And I know you're all wondering, hang on, I can't afford this. I'm but a mere mortal. It is available for mere mortals at a discount of 20% by using our code WFM20 at manscaped.com. And Jack, you know yourself, there is no better company in male grooming in the world than Manscaped.
Not at all, mate. It's the best in the world. It really is.
I've been assured that if Harry Potter was to use a male grooming product, he would go with Manscaped because it is magic.
I can't lie. You've got me into it, and I myself now am suffering from big Irish nut syndrome. And the Manscaped has
highly contagious, mate. Highly contagious.
It is. I'm not even Irish, but I've gone and contracted it from you. So yeah, it's difficult, but I've gone and got the lawnmower, and it's not my garden that I'm mowing. I'm telling you now, it's not the garden.
I mean, there are other fake companies out there, but they don't provide the proprietary skin-safe technology that only comes with Manscaped products, Jack.
No, I tell you what, Manscaped is the Club World Cup, Super Cup, Champions League winning in men grooming products. That's exactly what it is.
I need to get on the Manscaped train, don't I?
You do.
You do. That's what that was karma for the earphones. Just because you're not using Manscaped products, that was it. That was karma.
I need to get on the Manscaped train. Yeah, hook me up.
You do. There you go. I'm telling you, Steve. You'll never look back, mate. Your nutsack will be looking like Wembley. Mate. It'll be marvelous. You'll never look back.
Similarly green? Oh no, hopefully not.
Well, we've got issues there, mate. We've got issues. if it's green, I've heard of blue balls, all right, but that's green.
I mean, you said it'd be looking like Wembley, though. So yeah.
Well groomed, I meant, Steve. Well groomed.
Yeah.
Or right. Things look smaller from a distance, one or the other, whichever way. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, WFM20 at manscaped.com to get that discount as always. And look, gents, no better place to start, of course, than by talking about the international break and the furore that's going around about FIFA and Brazil. And it looks like the clubs are quite confident, Steve, that they will be able to field the Brazilian players, and that the article that is being implemented by FIFA doesn't really work in these circumstances. It's a bit messy, mate, to say the least.
Yeah, it's really messy, isn't it? And you know, the rule kind of exists, you know, for reasonable reasons in terms of the international sides, but how there is no, you know, how they can still be looking at implementing it, you know, given what's happening at the moment and the consequences of these boys going away is beyond me. So yeah, it seems like they're pretty confident that it won't apply. They need to sort it out pretty damn quick, don't they? You know, for the weekend. But yeah, it's just ridiculous, just absolutely ridiculous. And the most ridiculous thing was, you know, reading that they'd let Everton off for Richarlison just because it seems like they like them a bit more. So, you know,
yeah, he played in the Olympics, didn't he? He was
either the rules there or it's not there. You know, you can't, like, I don't know. It just seemed a bit ridiculous. So hopefully common sense can prevail, which, you know, doesn't always do, does it? But, you know, with a bit of luck, common sense can prevail.
Jack, I don't know if it's yourself or Connor that posted on the Anfield Agenda Twitter account saying, you know, let Leeds play Rafinha, we'll play our Brazilian boys. You know, 3-0 loss to 1, 3-0 victory. Somebody has to get 3 points somewhere from that one, so why not?
They've not got the balls to follow through with points deductions or anything anyway. They're absolutely. I'm so sick of all these governing bodies. I really am, and this is just another reason to moan about them, because, you know, when the Super League was going to happen, they were quick to, you know, complain and moan about, you know, the Big Six, like we all were, but we got it stopped, and, you know, we kind of sided with UEFA on that. But, you know, they're all as bad as each other, and the Brazilian FA, it seems like they're just throwing their toys out the cot, and, you know, like Steve said, allowing Everton to play Richarlison still just because he played in the Olympics. It's farcical, mate, and there's absolutely no way this goes ahead. And if it does, just play the fuckers. Every Premier League team should play them anyway, because what are they going to do? What is the worst they can do? Seriously, take the fine. We didn't spend any fucking money in the transfer window anyway.
Don't mention the war. Don't mention the war, Jack. I mentioned it once. I think I got away with it.
Mate, Jack's on one, and we're only 6 or 7 minutes in. This is going to be a long hour, isn't it, this?
It is. I can already feel the score prediction coming, though, Steve. I think we're quite confident where he's going to go with this one.
Oh dear, yeah.
It is. Look, it is a little bit. Anybody got any news on Bobby? By the way, I mean, I still maybe my ignorance. I still don't know what's going on here.
No, I'm not aware that they've really said. It'd been rumours knocking around, weren't there, before the, you know, a week or two ago before the deadline. Before the deadline closed. So yeah, I'm none the wiser, really.
Jack, I suppose we've got conjecture, we've got stuff that we've heard people say, but I've not seen the club say anything on it. I suppose we will hear when Clapper does his press conference.
No, I think it was Joyce that said that Liverpool don't think it's too serious, did he? But I don't know if that he was just responding to, you know, the rumours that were going around the deadline. Fingers crossed he's not out for too long, because that would just show exactly why we needed to go in the market in terms of depth, wouldn't it? It would leave us very weak, particularly with Minamino getting injured during the international break too. So yeah, fingers crossed it isn't as bad as some of the rumours are suggesting.
Yeah, it seems like the Harvey Elliott one in particular was more cautionary than anything else, his withdrawal from the under-21s, which is good news.
For me, that makes sense as well. You know, this lad is 18 years old. It's his first, you know, it's his breakout season as far as the Premier League's concerned. He was on loan at Blackburn last season, but I think Tony Mowbray managed his game time very well, and Klopp's going to have to do the same this year. You know, he started against Burnley, started against Chelsea, called up for England in the 21s, which I think is a brilliant thing for him. But if he's got a tiny knock, he needs to rest it. And you know, that's...
We're going to say something else, mate.
So did I.
The Manscaped talks coming back again.
If he's got a tiny knock, I mean, is that, I don't know where you come from, is that something different?
Yeah, tiny knock. If he's got a tiny knock at 18 years old, it's not a problem with all the money he's got. He can do it.
Oh dear.
But no, if he's got a small issue, if he's got a small issue with you know, downstairs, withdrawing from the squad, save him, and I think it shows that whether he's fully fit or not, I don't think he'll start against Leeds. And to be honest, I'm excited because now that Naby isn't a war hero. He's back and with us. I think we could see a midfield that involves Naby Keita and Thiago Alcantara, which would be magnifique, as they say.
It would. And look, I suppose we have to take a second as well to just speak about the Naby situation. I mean, how frightening that must have been, Steve, for that to develop so quickly like it did.
Yeah, just a bit. I mean, it's a country that's had its fair share of problems, isn't it? So, but yeah, I mean, just good to get him out. And like Jack says, it could be a beautiful thing, couldn't it? I mean, if they've got, if we do, manage to get Fabinho clear to play, him sitting behind Keita and Thiago would be a beautiful thing. I think it's going to be a tough game at the weekend, though, isn't it? Leeds are a really tough side to play against, and I think we had a couple of the game at the start of last year was bonkers, wasn't it? Just you score more than we'll score more than you type thing. So yeah, I mean, yeah, tough one, high scorer. I think.
I was in Leeds last weekend, just making sure the result was sorted out. Making sure everything was calm, and they knew that we were coming to take the points. They're all grand with it, I have to say. One thing I did say, I was actually over at the boxing, and nothing to do with Liverpool around, but I was sitting there, and they were very vocal in the hatred of Manchester United. I have to say that. So we had common ground. We all had a bit of common ground on that one. There was a lot of stand up if you hate Man U at the boxing, which I was all for.
That was a bit of a non-event, though, the boxing, wasn't it, Craig, in the end?
It was a bit disappointing. I mean, that was Connor's first taste of a live boxing event. And, we got the Michael Buffer intro. You had everything else. Katie Taylor done the job. But, yeah, it was a little bit disappointing for Josh Warrington, for everybody, that obviously that clash of heads stopped it in the second round. But I still got my pork pie, Steve. It's all good.
And your chicken nuggets.
My chicken nuggets, yeah, that's all good.
Hey, Craig, I'm seeing a few people while we're talking about midfielders. I'm seeing a bit of the Bellingham chat, which I'm going to blame you for entirely.
Well, I was building up to it, Steve. You know what I mean? I had it in the back of my mind, mate.
Just warming up.
I'd seen a couple of shouts on Twitter from different media sources about Liverpool's apparent 80 million interest in Choo Bellingham, and I will sit here and bask in that chat all day long, Steve, as you well know.
It makes me laugh, the wording. When someone, when a journalist writes, such and such a club are keeping tabs on or have interest in. I'm pretty sure that if Dortmund, and I don't think he's got a release clause, has he? But I'm pretty sure that if Dortmund were up for selling him, everybody would have an interest in Jude Bellingham. So, yeah, let's not get too excited. But I saw those headlines. I saw the people on Twitter talking about it, and I thought, Craig's going to be getting excited about this.
Had the tissues out. I won't lie. Had the tissues out. Look, I do get where people are coming from though on that, because it looks like they're nailed on to lose Haaland next summer. And if you're Dortmund, obviously you're not going to want to lose two players of that ilk in the same window. But look, let's try and stay away from transfers. We've done it to death. We're all sad.
Hell yeah.
We've had enough of it. So let's have a look at maybe what we can expect from the weekend and what 11 we think, assuming the Brazilian boys could play. Jack, what do you think the Klopp will start with?
I think AB1 in goal, Trent right back. It'll be interesting, the Van Dijk situation, because I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up resting Van Dijk. I know Leeds are a tough opposition, but he seemed to pick up a knock, and it was confirmed by Louis van Gaal at the end of that last Dutch game. And obviously we know we've got to manage his game time very well this season. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Verge. But I'd like to see us continue that centre-back pairing that started the season very well in Virgil van Dijk and Matip. Then, Robbo's played every minute of Scotland's 3 games. He's just come back from a long spell on the sidelines. Didn't look too great against Chelsea, looked a bit rusty. So I'd start Costas in this one. Then I'd go midfield 3 of Fabinho, Naby Lad and Thiago Alcantara. And then the front 3, I think, speaks for itself. I think it'll be Sadio, Jota, and, of course, our main man, Mo.
Steve, any changes for you?
I think probably given Naby Keita's exertions, I mean, I'm given it's Leeds as well, and you've got to fight fire with fire a little bit. I'm fairly sure the skipper will start.
It's the energy, isn't it? Yeah, he'll start.
Yeah, I've no doubt Henderson will start, because I think it's just a game that's made for him just to charge around and get everyone going a little bit, isn't it? Leeds, we know what Leeds will play like. They'll come at you at all guns blazing 100 miles an hour, and I think you need a bit of experience, you need a bit of energy, and I think he's got both in spades. So yeah, I'd like to see. I mean, the midfield that we all kind of want of Henderson, Fabinho, and Thiago. Klopp said, was it today? He said that Van Dijk is 200% fit. He texted him after the game, and he said he's fine. So I guess we've got to believe that, and if that is the case, I think he'll start. Matip alongside him. Matip is a really good piece on the Anfield Wrap today about Matip, because I think we do overlook him a lot, don't we? We don't give him anything like the credit he deserves, because his record when he plays, when he starts alongside Van Dijk particularly, is incredible. We just don't lose, really, and I think. So I think he needs to start getting a bit. We talked end of last season. We were pretty sure we'd seen the last of him, weren't we? We thought that was going to be him done. We thought it was going to be, bringing a couple of centre halves. Gomez was going to be fit again. We can afford to lose Joel Matip, but he's come back looking really good. Looking as good as he did, before. Well, not before the injuries, because they keep coming, don't they? But when he had that big long spell. In the title winning season, maybe. No, before the Champions League winning season, wasn't it? When he played most of that season and was fantastic. So yeah, I think left back's an interesting one, isn't it? I wonder if he might think about resting Robertson, but I hate the idea of resting players this early in the season. I know you've got to manage it a little bit. We're 3 games in. I think he'll play Robertson if he's in one piece.
It is that just to stay on Matip for a minute. I mean, for me personally, I've never doubted the guy's football ability. I think most Liverpool fans would say, he's as silky as they come on the ball. Very good aerially, likes to take a little John forward from time to time. It's just been, you get 4 solid months, and then the inevitable injury break or muscle strain would come, and maybe that's why we were able to pick him up on a free from Schalke. I don't know, but just even having him in and around the squad, whether he be 4 months a season and a little bit out, it's still a great 4 months to have, Jack, or a great option to have there, and he is a very, 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 very good centre back. Yeah,
when Matip's at the top of his game, he's one of the top 10 centre backs in the Premier League. He's outstanding. But he's made of glass, isn't he? Like Ross says in the comments, it's my favourite comment, isn't it, to talk about players being made of breadsticks, and Matip's one of them. And if you can keep him fit, him and Virgil van Dijk is an incredible centre back pairing. And the issue is, though, with Joel Matip is keeping him fit, because once he picks up a little niggly injury, there seems to be 2, 3, 4 down the line as well for him. So, yeah, it's difficult, but I like how he started the season. He's looked very, very good, having come back from that long layoff at the end of last season. And fingers crossed he can keep it up, because obviously we've brought in more competition for him. We've brought in another world-class centre-back in Ibrahim Konate. And at the minute, Matip and Van Dijk are giving no reason and no time for Klopp to bring in the new lad and bed him in a bit, because they're both in magnificent form. And I'm talking here about resting Van Dijk, but Klopp probably won't, because they're his trusty centre-back pairing at the moment. And don't forget, Leeds caused us issues last season when they came to Anfield in the first game of the season. It was 4-3, of course. Their attack caused us loads of problems. And Klopp won't underestimate them now, because we all know, attacking-wise, what Leeds can do.
Yeah, they're a very good team, Leeds, to be fair, and with a packed Ellen Road as well, as the makings of a very difficult evening football for the Reds. On the centre-back scenario, Steve, it's not unusual for Klopp to bring somebody, like a lot of questions in the chat there about Konate as an example, and when we might start to see Ibrahim Konate get some minutes for the Reds. And it must be very difficult for Klopp, particularly now when Matip started so well. And I want to give credit, by the way, as well to the Dutch national team, because they did rest Van Dijk in the middle of that 3 fixtures. He didn't take any part whatsoever in their second game. He was on the bench, I think, but he never played any minutes. So fair play to them as well for realising that he needs to be managed. Go on, Jack.
I wouldn't like to be. I wouldn't have liked to play him all 3 games in a row and had to deal with Jurgen Klopp. To be honest with you, Louis van Gaal had no choice but to only play him in 2 of the 3 games because our season literally relies on it. And you could see at the end of that 3rd game there was a little problem for him. So, yeah, they did the sensible thing, the right thing, and probably what Jurgen Klopp told them to do. To be honest with you,
I don't think it is difficult actually, Craig, for Klopp. I think this is we've seen the pattern, haven't we, of the way he handles new signings, time after time. He very rarely chucks them straight in.
He usually gives them. I think 3 months is probably the standard, actually.
Yeah, so I don't
back
think
to Robbo, which seems like a lifetime ago now. Steve,
yeah, and I think
Robbo burst on.
And I think he probably is open about that. I imagine when he brings a new player in like Konate, who's a young lad who's come from a different league.
Best unveiling video ever as well.
Yeah, he probably said to him though, like, chances are you're not going to get a lot of game time in the first 2 or 3 months, but you'll get your chance, and then it's up to you to take it once you kind of are bored with the way the team plays and stuff. But yeah, it's good. You're good. I mean, it's mad, isn't it, to be talking about Konate and Gomez not even getting on the pitch, given the issues of last season. It's pretty. And
we have a new 4-year deal, I think, for Nat Phillips there as well.
Yeah, what's that?
It's strange. It is strange, but
it is odd.
It is odd.
It is odd, that one.
I don't know how that situation evolved so quickly. I mean, there must have been an understanding there straight away that, all right, look, if an offer comes in on deadline day and you want it, we won't stand in your way. But at the same time, they must have pre-negotiated.
Yeah, but it's probably to preserve his value or something like that. Some sort of agreement that, I mean, imagine if all things being well, he's not going to play a lot this year, is he? You wouldn't imagine. 5th choice centre half doesn't really tend to get a lot of games, so he can't have been staying because he thinks he's going to play a lot. So I suspect it's a reward for him. It's a way of preserving his value, because we know players, they're worth more if they've got longer on their contract generally. So yeah, don't know. A funny one.
Yeah, a funny one, but for us fans, good. I mean, I'm happy to have 5 decent centre backs there now. You know what I mean? That's Klopp's headache, and it's a good headache. But as a fan, to see where we were last season when we didn't have that depth, it's great to see that we have the depth now. And look, it's the manager's job, I suppose, to try and keep all of these guys happy. And I'm sure he'd much rather have that headache than the headache of having to hope Alisson goes up and scores another 90th minute header to get us back in the Champions League. And on the start of the season, actually, how are we feeling about it, gents? How are we feeling about 7 points from a possible 9? I mean, Chelsea, we've seen some good and some bad in that game. We give credit to Chelsea for an excellent defensive performance in the second half. But, we showed, Jack, that we are at that level still. We are right up there with the best.
Satisfied with the start of the season? We've only conceded 1 goal. We've only dropped points to the side that I believe are going on to probably be our biggest competitors for the league, if that's where we're going to be at the end of the season. I think Chelsea, for me, are going to be potential league winners. I think we deserve more from that game, and we're unfortunate. We came against the side that 10 men or not, they're set up where they're hard to break down. And we were very unfortunate not to come away with 3 points in that game. And yeah, I'm satisfied. The worst thing of the season so far is Liverpool in the transfer window this summer, isn't it? So
Jack's getting worried now. Getting worried. I'm 40 on Saturday, Jack. So it's time to get worried, pal.
Yeah, and you're celebrating over on That's Football, aren't you? You should be out on
double shift, mate. Yeah, double shift. I agreed to it before I realised what day of the fucking week it was. And it's like a double kick in the nuts as well, mate, because the 12:30 is one of them. You know me, don't like the early kickoff, but
at least it's a kick in the well-manicured nuts, though. Hey?
Perfection, Steve. There you go, mate. Do you know what I mean? It's a kick in the 20% off WFM 20. Do you know what I mean? When you're right, you're right. But yeah, look, on the start of the season, Steve, how do you feel about it? You happy enough at 7 points from 9? I mean, who would have thought Spurs would be top of the pile?
I am, yeah. I don't think we've we played, anything like as well as we can do. I thought Chelsea game, it was an opportunity to put one over on them and get 3 points. But they're a really good team, aren't they? And they were so well organised, and I was quite satisfied with that. And I think, I'm with Jack. 7 points out of 9, given the start that we had. I think we probably would have near enough all would have taken that. And but most importantly is just the way we've gone about it, though, isn't it? The first couple of games were really professional. The same kind of way we played, a couple of years ago, where those games were sort of dismissed. Going back a few years, Craig, I'm sure you'll remember those games. Away to teams like Burnley, away to Norwich, were were absolute banana skins every single year, and we just dismissed them, didn't we? Really. So, really happy. I think plenty more to come, and it's a good start. Exciting times.
How do we feel though? Did it show our deficiencies again? I mean, it's one thing saying we couldn't break down a 10-man Chelsea. You have to caveat that by saying it's a damn good 10-man Chelsea and a very well drilled, well experienced, well stocked 10-man Chelsea. But at the same time, we were playing against a low block again, Jack, and it did show up maybe the reliance on a moment of magic or a strike from distance. We weren't able to pick holes in the defence, basically. We weren't able to find the winner.
No, we didn't create enough clear-cut opportunities, did we? Jurgen Klopp didn't really have an answer from the bench. We used our best substitution very early in the game, bringing on Jota, forced obviously by that Fabinho injury, and after that Klopp didn't really know where to turn in order to change the game. He brought Thiago on, I thought, slightly too late. But at the same time, you have to remember that we're playing against the best side in the league, in my opinion, other than us. A side who won the Champions League under Thomas Tuchel, are very, very difficult to break down with 11 men, and who made 2 substitutions at half-time with a mindset that they were going to defend and play for a draw at Anfield, and that's exactly what they did. And yes, you're absolutely right, Craig. It does, highlight the issues that we saw last season and we haven't rectified and improved on in the summer. But nonetheless, I think we gave it a good showing, and we're a lot better in this game than we were a lot last season when we couldn't break down, the bottom half, low block size. There was a couple of good efforts from distance, which I don't think we did last season. We saw a pile driver from Virgil van Dijk, which really tested Edouard Mendy. And nonetheless, as well, I think Mendy had a very, very good game between the sticks, made some very good saves. So, and in my opinion, he's becoming a very, very, very good goalkeeper. So, yeah, I wouldn't read into it too much. I know after the game, I remember we did a stream together, didn't we? And a lot of people in the comments were going crazy about the result and the performance and the fact we didn't manage to get 3 points against a side with 10 men. But I think people are missing and forgetting the quality of Chelsea, because they're an outstanding side. They really are. They weren't missing much last season when they won the Champions League, but they improved on it, and they didn't perform that great against us, but they caused us problems with 11 men, and they did the job with 10 men, and they're going to be a side that's incredibly difficult to beat for all teams in the Premier League this season.
Yeah, we were one very good Joe Matip block away, Steve, from perhaps even losing that game.
Definitely
a chance.
100%. Then I think Jack's right to say that they put us under a lot of pressure when it was 11 against 11. It wasn't, we played all right first half. First 20 minutes, didn't we? But then they got quite on top after their goal, and while it was 11v11, I wasn't feeling super confident about it, to be honest with you. Towards the end of the first half, and then so all in all, I think it's all right. I don't think we'll look back on that result end of the season and think that was 2 points dropped. I think that will be, we'll take that. And I think they were happy, we were happy. We probably would have all taken a draw before the game, wouldn't we? And
I think the main point to take, and sorry for talking over you, Steve.
No, go on, mate.
I think, listen, we as Liverpool fans are very hypocritical within ourselves, because if that was us that played like that, we'd say, champions like performance, gone to Stamford Bridge I know it was at Anfield, but I'm saying if you reverse the roles, we played with 10 men a whole second half, and we've still managed to get a point. But because Chelsea have done it, we say, oh, they parked the bus, shit club mentality. No, it was a Champions-like performance from Chelsea.
I thought they were fantastic, mate. Yeah, I thought they were fantastic.
That's the context as well, isn't it? If we'd have got that penalty at the start of the second half, I feel like people probably would have accepted the draw a lot better, if that makes sense. Sometimes it's the context of the draw and how it comes about that dictates some people's moods.
It's why Chelsea went on to win the Champions League, because when Thomas Tuchel was in the quarterfinal, the semi-final, he set Chelsea up so they were very difficult to break down. They didn't score many goals. You look at the Champions League final, City couldn't break them down. City were everyone's favourites to win that. They switched off at the back. Chelsea got an easy goal, scored it, and then they defended incredibly resolutely for the rest of the game and won the Champions League. And that's why, I think this Chelsea side can win absolutely anything this season, because they're so well set up. And Thomas Tuchel deserves credit for that, because, yes, he's been backed by Abramovich and too much, because he's thrown their oil money at him. But at the end of the day, he's got a very, very good squad there, and he's set them up perfectly. That back three worked for them like a dream. And, they were down to 10 and they were still very resolute and very, very difficult to break down, and credit to them.
People have had a pop at me for this, actually, but I'm going to stand over what I've said about Chelsea and their business. If you look at what they sold this summer, they brought a lot of money into that football club. Like, I like to think of the way that Abramovich went about it is he top-loaded the team when he came in. He spent all that money at the front, but they have, behind the scenes, been building that structure of loaning players and selling on young players and getting them experience. And they made a lot of money as well.
This summer, yeah, but last summer they didn't. When they went all German and it didn't work. But this summer they've rectified on it, and credit to them for that. But at the end of the day, you could moan about how they've been allowed to have the academy system they have, where they seem to have millions and millions of players out on loan.
There was a rule change brought in, I think, to cope with that, wasn't there? I mean, I think at one point they had an ungodly amount of players all around Europe on loan.
I'm pretty sure at one point they were the reason that the EFL was still going. They were giving all their teams to clubs across the EFL. But no, I think Chelsea are a very, very good side under Thomas Tuchel.
Get that Pepsi Max cherry out of my side.
Cherry Pepsi, is that?
I tried to do it incognito, but then.
I mean, it's the biggest bottle ever, so it's pretty hard to do it incognito.
Yeah.
Talk about the divide in households and all. There's an in-house divide here. Diet Coke versus Pepsi Max. I'll take that blind taste test any day of the week, by the way. I want to get on to talk about the third kit in a while. But before I do so, I do have to take a minute or two to address something. So there's a mad, and people think, by the way, some people think I seem to think that there's a fan divide that doesn't exist. There is a fan divide amongst Liverpool fans at the minute, mainly around the ownership. And I tried to do a segment the other day where I tried to do a piece where I think that, those of us in the middle can see both sides to the argument. We can see why maybe local-based football fans in Liverpool or any city are very protective of their city and the ethos of the football club and the way it should live and breathe, and have been through these dark times, difficult times of no trophies, and now see a team that's won stuff and appreciate that and appreciate the people that brought it to them. And then I've tried to go the other way and see the people who, aren't so far FSG gone that they can see that they've done some good points as well, and try to bring people together. But of course, as is often the case, because people don't like me for one reason or other, it got to the point where, again, I was just being mocked for it and claiming that I was trying to speak for every Liverpool fan when I never do. I only ever give my opinion. So I just want to take a minute to address some of the comments and stuff in the chat, and to say some things that Jack had to deal with, unfortunately, last night. And again, I apologise for that. Jack took the stream solo, but I will be finishing up on Sunday. I will be leaving Anfield Agenda on Sunday. And I don't know what I'll be doing after that. The channel, is in good hands. I'll be still there to advise and to help out if needs be. Jack and Connor and everybody else involved, and Steve and all the other people, I'm sure will move the channel on. But for me, it's just got to a point where I don't think that the pros of it outweigh the cons of it anymore, and I've never been arsed about the money side of it or anything like that. To me, it's at a point where I genuinely worry if I go to a Liverpool game if I'll be safe. and that's fucking ridiculous. So that's where I'm at, and that's why I've made the decision I've made, and I won't be reversing it. So again, I apologise to Jack for throwing you under the bus a bit last night, mate, on that stream. You had to take it solo. But I literally physically couldn't speak yesterday because of my throat anyway, so I wouldn't have been able to do the stream. But
I think it's important to remember, and I said my piece yesterday on obviously the late night agenda then, but I think everyone else at Anfield Agenda completely understands your decision, Craig. We're disappointed by it, and I'm Steve put a message in the chat
just for a sec, just so people understand. I don't think it's me just throwing my toys out of the pram. I've been reported to the revenue in Ireland. I've been reported to the social welfare in Ireland. I've had my address leaked. I've had threats emailed to me. I've had my phone number put out there. I've had pictures of my family doctored, and these are things that have been going on for years and years and years. But I'm at a point now where I've gone away to Leeds for a weekend, and my wife's worried that something might happen to me, and it's never ending. And I don't know what else I can do, to be honest with you. I've only ever claimed to speak for me.
At the end of the day, Steve will back me up on this. Everyone in the world knows that family is the most important thing in the world, and so is yourself, Craig. And you've got to do what is best for you, and that's the decision you're making here. So listen, people will understand. This is where it's gone, and hopefully, social media companies can now do more to stop this from happening to more and more people, because we're losing too many people because of it. And you've worked so hard over the last 6 years to build this to 118k subscribers. It's an absolutely huge platform now. You've helped so many people during lockdown, and now it's been ruined by a few idiots. So yeah, we'll move on and carry on talking about football. But yeah.
Yeah, again,
mate. Just to add to what Jack said, it blows my mind a little bit. Some of the comments and the abuse that you're forced to put up with, and for too long you've carried on, and you've done your thing, and you've had your say back at quite a few people, and they haven't really taken to that very well. I mean, what you're supposed to do is shut up and just let them come for you. I don't really know. I don't know what the answer is, but what I do know is that you've done yourself proud, you've done your family proud, everybody, and what you've built. All these people criticizing are very welcome to come on, to go and try and set up their own YouTube channel and their own business, like you've done, and you get it to the point that you've got it to is extraordinary. So whatever happens, be really, really, really proud of what you've done and what you've built. And
I definitely.
And I know you say you're not going to change your mind, but don't close the door to things. It's. I hope you're seeing all the comments down the side here, because I know as hard as it is to see all the sort of hate you get, there's an awful lot of love there for you as well, mate. And I think I hope you see that, and I hope you read that, and I hope you understand that as well, that for every one person that sends you the hatred, there's 10 or 20 or 30 or 50 that think you're doing a great job and want you to stay around. So don't close the door, and just take a bit of time, see what you want to do, and then we'll hold the fort for you, and see what happens.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm not tough enough for it or whatever. It's just, mate, I don't know.
It's nothing about being tough. It's nothing about being tough. You're not. I mean, nobody would be able to.
It baffles me, because I actually think I'm a nice person. That's, mate, what really annoys me about it all.
You're a very nice person. You're a very nice person, but it's human nature. I can remember my wife Rachel was a BBC broadcaster on the BBC News channel and 5 Live, and she used to get somebody would drop a text into 5 Live about her hair or something, or to the news channel about what she was wearing that day, and you can get all the great comments in the world, but one negative just eats away at you. And with you, it's not one negative. It's it's an endless, well, not endless, but it's a regular stream of this, and it's just not fair. And I don't want you beating yourself up thinking it's just because you're not tough enough, because it's nothing to do with being tough. It's You know, I don't think there's anybody that would, you know, gladly handle the stuff that you're having to handle. So
yeah, it's tough when you
just
don't
take
mind
care.
people
Just take
critiquing
care
your
of
football
yourself.
opinions.
Yeah.
People critiquing your football opinions is fine, but when people are questioning and lying about your character,
Yeah.
and you know, saying you're making false claims about stuff and this, that, and the other, it's tough because you are in the quandary of what do you do? Do you say nothing, which is what everyone tells you to do? But you know, saying nothing is as bad to me as them, because I'm just you know, I'm giving up. I'm letting them live in their vials of misery, and and it's not my character to say nothing. As you guys probably both know, I like to have my say on things, and I'll happily have a conversation with anybody who wants to have an open conversation with me about a topic. But it's it's not just me, by the way. It's not just woe is Craig. I've seen it happen to a lot of people recently. On it is on Twitter mainly. Let's be quite frank about this. It is mainly on Twitter, and yeah, it's at a point where I think it's not just about football. It's about society. We're just in a divisive society now, where you're pigeonholed into one box or the other, and for some reason, you know, people don't see the money I've donated to local food banks or the Christmas presents I've bought for kids whose parents can't afford, because I don't talk about it. I do that shit behind the scenes, but people think I hate a city that I've only ever spoken kindly of and lovingly of. And it's weird, is because the one set of people that you probably want to accept what you do are Scousers, because it's that city you love, it's that football club that you love, and you know, Scousers to me are the closest thing to Irish people. So to find so many Scousers that don't that think I misrepresent their football club, it hurts, because they're kind of the part of the reason why you love the club as well. It's like, you know, it's their opinion that matters the most to you in some extent.
Yeah, of course
because
it does, mate. Of course it does. I fully understand that, and it just, you know, yeah, giving you all this abuse and stuff because of you know, you're talking about football, flipping out. I mean, we're not, you know, this isn't, you know, this isn't like offering opinions on politics or I don't know, life and death stuff. This is football, and you know, it just absolutely breaks my heart, and it just completely goes. I said this to a guy today on Twitter. You know, I said, you know, what you're doing completely goes against everything that our club stands for. You know, absolutely everything, and you know, it's why we love our, you know, our club, and it's you know, a club that belongs to all of us. It's not just people that get to go to the game on a Saturday, and it's not just people that live within a 5-mile radius of Anfield. You know, it's all of our club, and we're all very, very, very lucky and, you know, very fortunate to support this club. And but it's just football. You know, it's just football, and at the end of the day, it feels like it matters, but it doesn't. And you know, so you've got to go away. You got to take a bit of time. You've got to, you know, work out what you're doing, and just, you know, get focused on yourself and your own mental health, and then we'll see where we go from there.
I've seen a young man sadly pass away at 39 from cancer. It was on social media recently, and that's my age at the minute. And as I said, I'm somebody whose mother took her own life, whose father took their own life, and I don't want to get to that point. This is quite simple.
Yeah, no, mate. I mean, look, my wife died when she was 40 years old. You know, so I can tell you that it's, you know, football is just football, and this isn't real life. This isn't the important stuff in life. So yeah, yeah, take a bit of time, look after yourself, and you know, take in all these comments from people that, you know, are saying nice things, and, you know, these people that love what you're doing, and, you know, love you and love your personality, and can see, you know, what you're trying to do, and you know, can see that you're a good guy and you've got your heart in the right place, and yeah, and then we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I was my obviously my thoughts were with yourself and Freddie the other day. I knew it was Rachel's anniversary, and you know, lots of love on that from all of us. I can't imagine Well, that must have been like, and I don't want to drag it up either, obviously, in here. But let's talk to something I think we can all agree on, and that's that horrendous third kit of ours that has been released during the week. And when you have McDonald's, Jack, actually,
Mate,
in the thread,
that's an about turn, isn't it? That's a handbrake turn of conversation.
it's the only way I know. Is I always try and find some type of humor in the darkest moments, mate. You know, I'm the type of person at a funeral who wants to go up and tell a joke or something, because you know I think we need it for the soul. We need to smile.
Oh dear.
I'm going to be controversial. The third kit's growing on me. It's growing on me. At first,
Mate,
I saw it.
You're some prick.
No, mate, I am with you. I am with you.
I wouldn't pay £100 for it. No, but I kind of like it. You know, it's for me. I saw it and straight away you can see why the club have done it. It's a festival head kit. You know, it's a kid and
it's an homage to the cop, to the flags, the checkered flags on the cop.
But the way they're selling it, you know, with you got Tacky and Joel in the bucket hats,
the full DHL gear.
It's a, you know, a kit with a bit of an indie look, a kit that the kids will love. You know, we speak about Steve's kid, Freddie. I bet Freddie loves it, Steve. I bet he absolutely loves that kit, and that's what the third kit's about. You know, I remember when I did some work somewhere before, and they said that, you know, when New Balance used to be with Liverpool, they said that the whole idea of the third kit is they make it for the kids. You know, you have a nice, obviously home kit, always red. They change the style year on year. You're going to get people buying the home kit because it's red and Liverpool colours. The away kit, the smarter one, more for the adults that are going to be buying it. The third kit, the wacky one, the one that kids love, the one that's different, the one that gets people talking about it being different. You know, whether you like it or not with McDonald's, whether you think it's a joke and you know, makes a laughing stock of the club, McDonald's commenting about the club's kit gets more engagement in the thread. So it's a no-brainer for me. Liverpool and Nike got exactly what they wanted there, and for me, it's really growing on me. It really is.
I preferred the concept one that was knocking about with the pinstripe. So, you know, because I grew up in you know, early 80s, you know, 70s and 80s. We had obviously red, and then the white away.
He's backtracking here. He grew up in the early 80s. Now he's back into the late 70s. Go on, be honest, Steve. Keep going.
I was born 1980. So, but then the away kit was white. There were yellow and what, you know, yellow or white away kits. That was the way it was. So I'm happy that we've got, you know, near enough white away kit and yellow third. I think those should be our colours. Probably, like I said, probably would have preferred the pinstripe, and I'm not totally struck on the checky collar, but broadly speaking, I think all the kits are all right. I got it was Freddie's birthday. Actually, it's Freddie's birthday in a week's time, but it was his party last week, and his grandma got him the home kit with Freddie 6 on the back, and it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful. I know the orange divided opinion a little bit, but I think they've all grown on me, and I think we've got some nice kits.
The home kit definitely grew on me. I bought it, but I'm like you. I seen somebody mock up the third kit today with just a red collar and red cuff, no check, and it looked so much better. But then again, I am a boomer. I am somebody that, like you, Steve, wanted that pinstripe kit.
I want the pinstripe so much. But yeah, I mean, you know, end of the day as well, I don't get massively energized about the kits. You know, the kits are the kits, and next year there'll be different kits, and we'll all get on with our lives, won't we? So yeah. I like
what about you, Jack? You gotta. I've seen some of the training gear look nice. There was a white tracky top the Canade was in that just screams of shell suits when we were growing up, Steve. Doesn't it? It just screams of them.
Oh mate, I love those shell suits. All comes around again, doesn't it?
I'll be buying that one. And listen, I used to be someone that collected Liverpool kits, and I'd buy all of them. I've got a huge collection of them. You know, different names on the back across the years. It used to be a curse when I was a kid. You know, I'd buy a shirt with a name on the back, and they'd undoubtedly leave sooner rather than later. But you know, I have loads of them. But when Nike came in, the kits have gone ridiculously expensive. You know, I've grown up a bit, I'm not too into them, getting them all now. And I
You mean you're paying for them now rather than your parents paying for them? That's what you're talking about, isn't it?
But I'm not, I don't get all of them now. And these wacky third kits, if they really interest me, I'm going to buy them. I like this one. I'm not going to pay £100 for it because yellow isn't particularly my colour. But yeah, I think it's nice, and you'll get loads of people that look good in it. The shell suits look good, the nice training kits. And as I say, it seems like they've targeted a particular audience with this kit. And for me, I don't mind it. I never understand people that kick off massively about kits, but then again, I never understand people that troll people on Twitter. So it swings and roundabouts, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I'm always somebody that if there's one of the three kits I'm happy enough. For there's one of. I know there are some people that think grown ass men shouldn't wear football jerseys as well. By the way, I get that, but I'm somebody who likes Jack collects football shirts, and this week alone I've got that Ajax away shirt on the way over to me. I've got that Atletico Mineiro shirt that I got recently as well. That one that was released. Hasn't arrived yet, but I've ordered it, and a few other ones that I just love collecting cool footy shirts.
Jack, Kevin Friends absolutely had you on here, hasn't he?
I
presume it's not the actual Kevin Friend.
Well, I hope it is, because he's a twat, the real one. But anyway, yeah, wow, I like it. So I've seen Connor as well has put in the comments about getting an Origi shirt. I tried that. I've tried it already. I've already got a shirt with Origi on the back. But
I got a good update. I don't know if you've seen on Twitter, but my LAFC, the YouTube one that I wore quite a bit, the black and gold one, the washing machine ripped that apart.
Yeah.
I got a replacement finally. It arrived yesterday.
Brilliant.
So it's sitting over there, and I'm so happy about it because, I finally was able to track one down. So I'm delighted about that. That's made my week. It's one of my favourite shirts of many years gone by. I love the LAFC shirt. So, yeah, I'm delighted to have that one back. But, what else, gents, before we finish up? Any other topics we want to go over? Anything in the chat?
For the benefit of people that don't understand, I love Kevin Friend, really. Great guy. Top referee.
Until Sunday evening.
Anyway, let's go on with score predictions.
Yeah, score predictions for this one. I mean, I'm going to hang off doing mine if that's all right, because I'm recording a preview tomorrow, and that'll be part of it. But definitely for you two gents. Steve, we'll come to you first because we know Jack's score already.
I'm gonna go Liverpool 3-2, 3-1, 3-2. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a belter.
It's the only game on Sunday, isn't it? The only Premier League game on Sunday.
It's going to be a good one Sunday. I'm doing the Wilmslow half marathon in the morning as part of my London marathon training. So I'll have my feet up by the afternoon, as long as I finish by then. And I think it'll be a belter.
Make sure you get Manscaped before then, Steve, because you'll get incredibly Betty Swallocks during that.
You know what? You're joking, but it is actually a big in the London Marathon. It is actually your chafage and that kind of thing is a real problem. It's a real problem.
So yeah, but
not anymore, mate. Not anymore. We've got
you have to shave your nipples and I've seen some people put
plasters on the nipples.
Even 10p pieces over their nipples. I've seen like smear Vaseline everywhere. Yeah.
Sounds like Saturday night for me.
Vaseline everywhere. Vaseline everywhere, shaved nipples. Just a normal Saturday night for Jack.
You got to be doing it in a shell suit, Steve. You got to be bringing it back.
Mate, I cannot. The London Marathon is really hard. I can't imagine for 1 second you're trying to make it harder by wearing some sort of stupid, daft outfit. So no, I'll be doing it in standard running gear. But yeah, a little bit of manscaping beforehand would help, I think.
WFM 20. Anyone doing the London Marathon, get the code over, get over there, get yourself a discount. For you, Jack, ahead of the game on Sunday, what are you predicting?
It's a tough one, isn't it? I think Steve's right. There's going to be quite a few goals in this one. I'm not underestimating going to Elland Road. It's their first really, really big game with with the home crowd behind them since returning to the Premier League. And yeah, I think it's going to be a close 6-0 to Liverpool. I think, we saw that they weren't great against Manchester United. The floodgates opened at one point. And I think this is the one where it actually comes true. You know, if it is going to be your last watch along, Craig, a 6-0 drumming, happy days.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll probably be naked by the end of that. To be honest, if it ends up at 6-0, there's probably a fair chance I'll be down to me Betty Swallocks at that point, proving that Manscaped actually works. But yeah, it's set up to be a great game. I'm very much looking forward to this one. I think it'll be a bit feisty as well. I think we'll see quite a few bookings in this one, and it'll be interesting to see if they let the game flow as they have been doing. Because I've actually quite liked that, Steve. To be honest with you.
I want to see, I want to see us fight fire with fire a little bit, because you know we've got better players than Leeds have. So if we match them for their intensity, match them for their work rate, you know we should come out on top, shouldn't we? You know, I think it's when teams maybe set off Leeds a little bit, and they can impose their game. Interesting, I guess maybe the Brazilian thing is quite interesting, because I reckon they'd probably miss Rafinha more. We would still have a
we're talking about footballers here. Sorry, I was back to
Rafinha is such a massive part of their team that we could probably fill in for our Brazilians, and I think they'd miss theirs, just as much, if not more. So yeah, it'd be interesting if that doesn't get sorted out. Dan James, he's fit for his debut, isn't he? I guess so. He'll be chomping at the bit to get after us as well. So he'll be chomping at the bit to run really fast in a straight line for 90 minutes. So
he's getting nowhere past us. 6-0, nice easy win.
Nice tight 6-0.
Yeah, no, the first half will be relatively tight. We'll get a couple of goals. Second half, all guns blazing, 6-0. Going to happen, I'm telling you.
You turned into a Cockney geezer there. Like you're doing some sort of Cockney accent.
I don't know. That's what I get. When I'm excited, I go all part life blur. I go all blur. That's what I do.
That's what happens when he borrows Jack Mate's shirt.
What's wrong with this shirt? It's a lovely shirt. I thought I'd pull out the nice shirt for the last Cop of the Week with you for a bit, Craig. I thought I'd pull it out.
I've just been called an FSG apologist on the. I don't even think we've talked about FSG, have we? That's.
Steve, yes, you're an awful man, Steve. You're accused of bullying Jack as well in comments I've seen during the week, which I thought was hilarious.
He does bully me, to be fair, but it's all
yeah. The love-hate relationship.
To be fair, Steve, you are on a retainer from FSG, from the PR department. You make a lot of money from them.
He's on their payroll. That's the only reason.
I heard Steve's the Swiss Ramble, really, and that him and John W. Henry just like each other's comments for the laugh.
Oh, mate.
He is. I heard Steve is John W. Henry.
No, we don't want to talk about this, or do we?
Did we see that Swiss Ramble thread, by the way, anybody? On the finances? Because, my God, it was good, but my God, if I even pretend I understood half of it, I'd be lying to you. Because it was in some depth.
It got sent in one of the chats I was in, and I started it like, oh yeah, it's explaining well, but I'm still annoyed about this, that, and the other. And I got to the end, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? I didn't understand an absolute, part of it. I was like, yeah, it makes kind of sense.
It could have all been lies, and we'd still have been going, yeah. He knows what he's talking about. That makes sense. Yeah. It's basically you'd want a degree in fucking, I don't know, applied maths to understand what he was talking about, but that sure matches my Nats card.
Oh dear.
See, Jack, see what you're in for now when I step down, by the way, mate. This is your life. Enjoy it.
Oh, great.
Literally picking apart every single little thing.
I'm going to buy more shirts now. I'm going to wear one every video. Rather than collect football shirts, I'm going to collect shirts like Nan's curtains.
Yeah.
Jackamo Jack is what we'll be calling in no time. Right, look, we'll wrap that up, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a preview that I'm recording tomorrow. That'll be out on Saturday. Should be here tomorrow with a late night agenda, all going well. And of course, the game then on Sunday. Loads of content around that. Hit the subscribe button, drop a like on the video as always. Thank you to Steve Bland and Jack Gill for joining me on this one. It's been a pleasure, and we will talk to you guys really soon. Lots of love.